So we're on the water this afternoon with the 2023 Axopar 28 aft cabin Brabus edition, powered by a pair of Mercury 200 horsepower V6 outboards, twin engines, the most powerful engine option you can get on this boat. We are here with a client who's buying the boat. We're doing the sea trials this afternoon. I thought I'd take the opportunity while we're here to do a virtual sea trial video and show you how this boat performs with this power package in fairly rubbish conditions now. To be fair, it's like 20 knots of breeze and lumpy sea out there, so we'll take it out and show you how this boat performs on the water. Okay, so we're sitting at the helm, doors all closed. The cabin is really snug. The wheelhouse is really snug. I have already been out on the water for a run, and this thing it's seriously impressive. I mean, there's at least 20 or 25 knots of breeze out there, and real lumpy seas. You'll see when we get out there. They all, of course, they never look as bad on the video cameras they are in real life, but it is lumpy out there. And you're sitting in here. It's quiet. It's warm. You know, it's like you could be fooled into thinking it's actually a nice day sitting in here. So that's the benefit, the beauty of these Axopars. They really do, and particularly this enclosed wheelhouse one, it really does, you know, it's like, compared to a rib, you know, much more comfortable. You're really sitting in and in the lap of luxury, even though it's blowing a gale outside. I'm getting blown off course here now as I'm speaking to you as well. But anyway, we're just tickling out of the marina. I'm going to put it up on plane, show you how quickly, with a 400 horsepower in the back, it's on the plane in an instant. Show you how it plows through some of the waves and take a run back in again. But this boat has the twin Simrad displays, so it's got twin 12-inch, I think it is Simrad glass dash displays. This one I've just got a fish finder on, depth sounder. This one I've got the engine, the Mercury display screen on it. Look at that, look how much I'm getting blown off course. And again, because you're sitting inside, you have to keep your wits about you. So this one's got the Mercury engine info, so tachos, fuel gauge, system status monitor, volts, speed over the ground is here, so this is our speed reading, course and stuff. And then the other thing I'm looking at here, just out of interest, is the fuel flow. So 10 litres an hour, and I think that's combined, I think that's both engines. So yeah, there's tons of menus on there that you can go through. We've got the windscreen wiper, window wash there as well on this, and we've got bow thruster controls and then this trim tab control. So I was using the tabs because what I found is whenever you're heading into heavy, whenever you're taking the wave straight on the bow, it seems to be a lot happier whenever you keep the angle of the nose down, so you keep the nose like into the waves, so you get that sharp forefoot on the hull sort of piercing the waves, and it just blasts through them, which is great. So anyway, this is trim control, so we're trimmed fully down. So let's get it up on plane here. So it's on plane, then a heartbeat, virtually no bow rise, and we're up and away. So that's us running up on plane, 3,000 RPM, just over it, and we're doing 22 knots. So that, to me, that's your comfortable cruising speed. Kind of just over 3,000 RPM, 21 knots over the ground. We're burning 44 litres of fuel per hour, and we're in complete comfort. Now, if you notice, the wind's sort of coming across from the port side, and the boat is leaning slightly into the wind, just ever so slightly. It's obviously doesn't have a big high freeboard on it, so it's not too bad, but slightly leaning into port. So to straighten that up, we use the joystick here. We give it a bit of tweaking to starboard, and she levels up nicely. Look at that. So she's leveled up, and she's sitting running nice and flat and level, so you're going to be comfortable for your passengers. And again, she's just taking the waves on the keel as opposed to on the chine. Yeah, this running lovely. 41 litres of fuel flow, 22 knots over the ground, 3,100 RPM. She's tracking in a straight line. Throttles are obviously digital throttle and shift, super smooth. They're staying where I left them. And we can sit and run at this kind of speed all day long. If we get down the channel a bit, I'll turn into the weather and show you how she runs through it then as well. But yeah, this is super comfortable. This is the first time I've had it. We obviously sold this boat last year and delivered it to the first owner, and we done a wee bit of sea trials, but it was a fairly calm day, and the whole family was there. I wasn't able to get a chance to play around with it in sort of lumpy conditions, and I kind of half chose today for this sea trial because I knew it was going to be a wee bit rough, and I was keen to see if this Axopar lived up to the hype, but it definitely does. So I'll trim sort of coming around now that we're beyond the protection of the island, so we're getting slightly bigger waves coming across here now, and they are coming from our sort of port aft beam. So I'm going to trim the outboards up a wee bit, and I'm going to open her up here now as well. So we'll do a wee full speed run here at this. Okay, so here we go. It just flies, absolutely flies. .42 knots, not a bother. A couple of wee things, because key rings that are rattling, but the boat itself is super solid. I've got plus 14 of trim angle, and it really just goes. This thing is seriously impressive. Handling is unbelievable as well. Okay, so let's slow down a wee bit. I just can't get over how cocooned you feel in here. Like I'll open the door and go outside to show you just how bad it is out here. Like there's white caps. The wind could blow you away. It's a rough day, and it's kind of probably a day you wouldn't choose to go out in, but if you had to get somewhere or you wanted to get home, this boat will do it. Close the door, it's totally quiet, calm, dry. It's fabulous. So let's go up on plane. We'll just give it a sort of less than half throttle there. She planes out with ease. Now what I'm going to do is, if you run her like a normal boat, or you run her with a bit of trim up, you see the boy is sitting up now, and even if I give her a wee bit of positive trim on the outboards, it is a bit slammy, as you would expect any conventional V-bottom boat. See the way she's, you know, some of those bigger waves, she's just slamming into them. So what you want to do is you want to trim her down, put the engines, tuck them fully down, so we're zero trim angle, and then we're going to get the trim tabs and just pushing the joystick down to take that lateral trim off her. I'm going to push the joystick up now to put the nose down into the weather, down into the waves, so we get her running at a much more flat kind of an angle. So that's her. The nose is down into the waves. You won't even pick up the speed a wee bit. You want to be getting up to like that 22, 23 knots, so you're getting a bit of lift off the steps. It's a twin stepped hull, so you want a wee bit of aft lift. She actually likes to go faster into the waves, so the aft end lifts up and she's running flat and level, and she just plows through it. I mean, these are kind of really short interval, probably 2-3 foot waves. Wee bit bigger, some of them there actually. Look at this one, big lumpy looking one. She just goes straight through it, no problem whatsoever. Here's one here, kind of white cap just breaking on it, straight through, totally smooth, no big bang, no slams. You could still, all your passengers could sit and have a conversation. Doesn't get much better than this. For a 28 footer, this is really impressive. haven't even taken away, but earlier on it was even bluer. This is all white caps out here. Earlier on it was even bluer, and we took a couple where we sort of almost, like, not quite buried the nose, but we were getting a good bit of spray onto the windscreen, and still she just blasted through it, you know. Benefit, that's the like this boat kind of wants to go through waves as opposed to over them. So there you go. So I'm going to swing around now, take her back in, but this is a really impressive going boat. So now we're turning around, I'm going to take those tabs back off again, lift the nose up because we're running with the sea behind us. So you want the nose up a wee touch. So let's come a little bit behind us. And it just gives you such a feeling of confidence. I feel like that boat could, like, at this kind of speed here, this 22 knots, 3,400 RPM, we're burning 50 litres of fuel per hour, 47 litres of fuel an hour. It's not even that's incredibly economical. And it'll go forever. It's going to be a real comfortable boat to cover ground in. I forgot to look at the fuel flow whenever we're up at the higher speed, so let's play around with that a wee touch. We'll trim her up a wee bit just because we're running on the back of the waves. So we're doing 29 knots, burning at 3,800 RPM, and we're burning 64 litres of fuel an hour. 64 litres. And around 60 litres of fuel an hour. One more wee quick full speed run here. To take off there at those sort of speeds, but that was about 130 litres of fuel an hour at about 40 knots. Even that's not that bad. Twin outboards, 2200s. Can't complain about that. Give the screens a wee wash. So now that we're coming back up the channel to the marina, leaning slightly into the wind again, so we just use the joystick. You get a couple of wee noisy ones there. That's because we're leaning over. So use the joystick on the trim tabs to correct the angle, the running angle. So she's running nice and level again now, and we're back to taking the seas kind of on the keel. So it's a lot smoother again. So, all in all, this is a seriously impressive boat. Definitely lives up to the hype in my book. And I would say those 2200s are the engines of choice. 400 horsepower in the transom, performance is effortless, 42 knots flat out, and this is in seriously lumpy conditions. I'm sure on a nice calm day where you can get the engines trimmed properly up out, you probably get another knot or two out of it. And economical. It'll cruise all day long at like 20-21 knots, and you're only burning like 40 litres of fuel per hour. Incredibly economical. Even flat out, still only burning 130 litres of fuel per hour. So, and steering is a dream. The digital throttle and shift in those Mercury outboards is fantastic as well. Just an absolutely excellent boat. All the information you can want at your fingertips with the Simrad displays. If you're in the market for an Axopar 28, this one's sold now, and we've just done the sea trial with the buyer, and he's delighted. So I'm pretty sure this one's going to go through. but I would say go for it. They're a great boat, really, really nice running thing on the water. Seriously impressive bit of kit. So we're just coming in behind the island now. We get a wee bit of flatter water. I'll chuck it through a couple of tight turns to see, like, this thing handles like it's on rails as well. It's another surprising thing about it. But so I wish you get a big shove in your, even when we're doing 23 knots or 22 knots, you drop the throttles, you get a big shove in your back. You take that trim tab off. Turns on a 6-pence, no cavitation out of those 200 V6s. You really can chuck this thing around. Wee tiny bit of cavitation there at that. Look, this thing is seriously fun to drive. What a boat. So there you go, that's how this Axopar 2023 Axopar Brabus edition with the twin Mercury 200 horsepower V6s performs underway on a really bad day in really lumpy conditions out in the lock here. Those wee short steep waves upset kind of any boat you want to throw at them. This thing handles it fantastically well. Really nice running boat. Hopefully you found the video useful. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch it.